That is that is how sane societies operate. That is the essence of democracy. Otherwise, there will be chaos. His cabinet disagreed with him. His cabinet disagreed with him.
He's not in terms of your visa, and you must always acknowledge that your visa is for a specific purpose. If it's a tourist visa, make sure you are just going there as a tourist, because even there we are also not doing too well. We were told that some 7% of those receiving tourist visas are overstaying. So we need to watch that. I think that we can be calm and we can have confidence in the ongoing talks, and I have every belief that we will be successful. Ghana does not belong to that categorization, and I'm very hopeful that we will soon be taken out of that 36 country classification. Now the final issue, which I know is of interest to the good people of Ghana. The Ghana Embassy in Washington, D.C., and subsequently recalling all staff, suspending all locally recruited staff, and reopening the mission with a new team about a month ago. We have observed that since all those decisive and drastic actions were carried out, and also following the parliamentary briefing that I conducted last week, the former ambassador has been making some statements and seeking to undermine the measures that we have carried out, and peddling a lot of untruths about her conduct in this whole sordid affair. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs insists that what our fact-finding team, led by senior management of this ministry, I was not a member of that team, senior management discovered a litany of significant breaches of our laws, naked conflict of interest, blatant corruption, and a total lack of internal financial and managerial control. We have provided Parliament with a full report of the fact-finding mission. And it is important to stress that the levels of corruption and naked conflict of interest which we unraveled, there was absolutely no way a responsible leadership unraveling, discovering that kind of massive corruption, naked conflict of interest, and breach of our laws will refuse to act. Perhaps the former ambassador will have preferred that, just as others refused to act for many, many years, even when this matter came to their attention, she will have preferred that we also look the other way and not take action. Her Excellency Haji Halima Mahama must know that this is a new era. It is a reset era. We do not condone corruption. We do not tolerate naked conflict of interest. And we will not look the other way. We will not become complicit. And we will not, by our dereliction, encourage such terrible conduct which destroys the hard-won reputation of this ministry and Ghana's foreign service. So let's be clear. The report which we'll make available to you today clearly identified that a locally recruited staff by name Mr. Fred Kwarteng in 2019 carried out the despicable act of creating an unauthorized link on the website of the Foreign Ministry as relating to the Washington website of the Embassy of the Republic of Ghana. Now, that unauthorized link, our fact-finding team has discovered that it was done in such a way that virtually all traffic, when the former ambassador says that it was optional, that is palpable falsehood. The analysis that has been done, 99%, the only 1% are those who didn't finish the applications, but 99% of all visa applications were redirected to the personal company of Mr. Fred Kwarteng. Indeed, evidence abounds that on 19 November 2019, that was when this despicable conduct first came to the attention of officials at our embassy in Washington. And I have a copy of the query letter, which, as you recall, I read in Parliament. And the query to Mr. Fred Kwarteng, signed by Madame Genevieve Apalu, is here. I'll give you copies. 19 November 2019. Query. Dear Sir, it has come to the notice of management of the embassy that in September 2019, you modified the embassy's website in respect of visa or passport acquisition process without the necessary express approval. Will you explain why disciplinary action should not be taken against you for taking this unilateral important decision? Your response should reach the undersigned not later than close of work on Wednesday, November 20th, 2019. So this has been going on since 2019. And let me read to you the response to the query signed by Mr. Fred Kwarteng on November 20, 2019. Dear Management, query response. Please refer to your query dated 19 November 2019 and reference WAAD 5. I wish to respectfully state that I did not make any modifications alleged in the query. I only modified the visa application process, providing applicants the option to choose between paying for their package to be mailed back to them with a travel agent, as a pilot project to solve the overwhelming problem with the inbound calls by applicants facing mail-out related process at the expense of mission's reputation. However, I will humbly request a hearing by management for detailed explanation. Signed, Mr. Fred Kwarteng, IT officer. Here, Mr. Fred Kwarteng confirms that he indeed carried out that modification with a company. What do our procurement laws say? And who gave him this approval to carry out this? A sovereign website of the Republic of Ghana. Unfortunately, records are hazy. We can't find any records about what happened at management level. And curiously, after this query and this admission, self-admission on the 20th of November 2019, this was allowed to fester, to become a full-blown operation more than 6 years on. Haji Halima Mahama wants us to look on and allow this to continue. We did not obtain the mandate of the Ghanaian people to look on as people rape the system, as people engage in corruption and naked conflict of interest. Now, we have also heard Haji Halima Mahama say that she does not see any conflict of interest. That is most shocking and condemnable. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the contract which was later signed, remember that Fred Kwati was on his own earlier, 19 November 2019. He should have been stopped. He was not stopped, he continued. Then in 2023, Mr. Fred Kwati, who describes himself here as systems engineer. How can an ambassador sign an agreement for the provision of courier services and other visa application services with her own staff, her IT officer, who had been accused in 2019, and he admitted on the 20th of November 2019 of creating this illegal, unauthorized link which diverts 99%, virtually all. He made it impossible for you to apply for your visa and receive your visa, your passports, without going through his system. Instead of this gentleman being fired and prosecuted, Haji Halima Mahama sought to legitimize this corruption. They really can understand the infraction and the breach of interest. He was to carry out these services in perpetuity. I've never seen any such contract. And I'll give you copies of the contract and you'll see for yourself. We don't even have opportunities under this contract if he doesn't perform, if there's non-performance, for us to abrogate the contract, to take him on. I have never seen any sweetheart deal of this kind. Very abhorrent, very repugnant, and absolutely unacceptable. Now, what is also extremely worrying about this contract is that this contract does not give Fred Kwati any ceiling. When you read this contract, there are no figures. Fred Kwati can charge any amount that he wants. Can you believe that? So no wonder when the average FedEx, UPS mailing rate is between $6 to $10, he was charging between $29 and $60. And some have said that they even paid more. Now, the claim that the embassy so desperately needed courier services beats our imagination, because you are dealing with companies that offer courier services. FedEx, UPS, USPS offer a full package, and most of our missions use these services. Indeed, next door, the New York mission, they deal directly with FedEx, with UPS. So what was so spectacular about Fred Kwati's company? What was so superior? That
democracy in the Fourth Republic. The fairness of the Constitution identified public officials who must directly serve the citizens of Ghana without being afraid of unjustified punishments or reprisals from influential people or members of the executive or legislature. The framers of the Constitution identified that it is only when these public officials we can work without fear, control, or at the pleasure of influential people that freedom and justice will reign in Ghana. The law did not provide for the termination of their appointment by any authority. The Constitution set out grounds and processes for removing them from office under Article 146. And these grounds must reach the standard of, quote, inability to perform the functions of their office. The officials include, apart from Superior Court justices, commissioners of Traj, commissioners of NCCE, commissioners of EC, Electoral Commission, the Auditor General, and the chairman and the vice chairman and members of the Public Service Commission. The third reason for the statement is that in order to address the troubling violations of the Constitution and illegality of the proceedings that have become obvious to me, that became obvious to me from the beginning of the process. I started an action in the Supreme Court. I applied for the proceedings of the committee set up by His Excellency the President to be held in public so that...
In the last few minutes, many of you in the media have reached out to me seeking to inquire about what government makes of the press engagement that Her Ladyship, the Chief Justice, just had, which bordered on the petitions brought against her and the deliberations of the committee tasked to look into the matter. Ordinarily, if the matters were left to the content of the petition and the processes being undertaken by the committee, we will not have cause to comment because those are matters beyond the purview of the president or the government.
Government is broke, but people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. And I'm starting this because today is a Friday and I'm saying this to our Muslim Ummah. And as I always say, let's meet at the mosque at 12:30 today. But good morning. Welcome to the show. This is Good Morning Ghana. The show is also live on 94.1 FM. And my name is Awudu Umoro. And today's a Friday, 27th of June, 2025. As usual, we give big thanks to the Almighty God for giving us this rare privilege of being alive and kicking and to, bring us back here to join the nation's conversation on the big issues that matter to you and I. And so, as always, I'll go straight ahead and look at what the newspapers are reporting this morning on their various front pages. Daily Graphic says government to crack down illicit trafficking networks. That's Vice President assures nation. Paper shortage hits birth and death registry. Oh, how? There's also papers out there anyway. Zoomline extends waste management solutions to Burkina Faso. National framework required for AI adoption, Dr. Brian Acheampong. And yeah, that's with the Daily Graphic. So Ghanaian Times. Royal bonds shared heritage. Asantehene meets King Mswati III at Menchia. Focus on 4 pillars of revenue generation, said Tekwe. Minor jailed 23 years for defiling 3-year-old girl. Ghana must develop a comprehensive framework on AI, Brian Acheampong. Let's invest in saving lives, not bombs. President Mahama implores global leaders. The Daily Guide. Lead Africa's AI revolution. Dr. Brian Acheampong charges youth. Let's document our cultural practices. King Mswati III. AG Edubuahin, a clash over national security accounts. Yoko picks up a former Buffer stock boss. Government introduces new holiday for Muslims. The Insight. Illicit drug trade. We're coming after you. Veep. NACOB warn cartels. NPA warns of harsher fines to curb illegal fuel stations. The American continent is nobody's backyard, says Chinese spokesperson. War on Iran and the myth about U.S. righteous wars. Full details of how America backed juntas, installed dictators, and orchestrated coups. Education Ministry to establish TVET universities in 3 regions. The Herald. Chief Justice accused of falsifying judges' murder records for sympathy. Akufo-Addo and Ayokobotwe Edu Lodge legacy damaged. Asidu Nketa demands EC boss Jane Mensah and deputies sacked, but gets no response from them. Bantama SDA SHS gunshot. Victim regained sight after eye surgery in UK. Adan Traditional Council goes firm on Songo Sol's $1 billion opportunities. African refiners, executives, distributors understudy Ghana's NPA. The Daily Statesman. Government to expand TVET infrastructure to remaining regions. Dr. Isiama calls for stronger regional cooperation on financial cybersecurity. Let's not be self-centered. Kufuor cautions NPP leaders. Flag bearer hopefuls. Minority leader hails a patriotic institute as beacon of NPP's ideological renewal. The Custodian. Tokonu exposes enemies of rule of law. Kufuor warns NPP against religious and tribal bigotry. Zoomline expands management expertise to Burkina Faso. GJA election. June 4 outlines 5-pillar agenda for second term. Veteran journalist Ebo Kwanzaa passes on. Daily Post. Ghana risk U.S. visa sanctions over high student overstay rates. Ablakwa confirms. Bank of Ghana reverses dismissal of nearly 100 employees. Guzitano represents 24-hour economy document to Speaker. Policy kicks off on July 2. All Supreme Court nominees demonstrated outstanding competence, deep knowledge of the law. Ahiafo. Edubuahin case. Court says July 3 to rule on whether AG should disclose all national security accounts. The BNFT. Soaring debt linked to flawed tax system. Tekbe, we need a national skills plan for AI transition. Dr. Brian Acheampong. IEA questions government plans for extending tallow oil's production license to 2040. Not all plastics to be outlawed. EPA, as it clarifies scope of the imminent ban. EPA, sorry. Now, policy implementation gap. Law enforcement worsen plastic crisis. Experts warn. Reclaiming energy sovereignty. How the rebirth of toll could power economic future. And also the Informer. Stop the religious tribal campaign. Kufuor wants NPP. Haruna Asidu in Ketia divided over EC boss dismissal. OSP on warpath grabs more in SML GRA $500 million scandal. GJ elections, June 4 rise wave of national support. Zoomlion spreads tentacles to Burkina Faso. So Zoomlion is now in about 24 African countries. Congratulations. Big congratulations. Anyway, so my attempted removal politically motivated, Justice Tokonu, but government refused claims. That's all right. So Metrolens. Accra Mayor hails NHIA, urges traders to register and renew membership using my NHIS app and hashtag 929 star. So star 929 hash, sorry. Police arrest 7 street robbery suspects in Ashaman. Empress Gift sues Nana Agrada for 200 billion cedis. Reverend Intimfojo condemns desecration of national monument by gay couple. The Inquisitor, NPP flag bearership raise, induced endorsement for Iditrum. Stop press. InPath Technologies under investigations. There's also ARDA executive members under study NPA. OSP appeals acquittal of former Joabing MCE. The Weekend Crusading Guide. 30th June GJ elections, Abajun 4 is the man. Groundswell support gathers momentum for his transformative leadership. I do not seek to cling to title or position, but, and that's the CJ Tokono. There's also Ada Chiefs back Electrochem to revive Songo Lagoon. Fresh 20 million suit rocks Agrada. And yeah, so that's it for the front page of the various newspapers that we've received this morning. Please stay with us. This is Good Morning Ghana.
I hereby declare 1st of July of every year as Ghana's official National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving.
Where are you going with all this?
The president just made 1st July a National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving, and I'm preparing in advance.
I mean, we're all going as a family, but you seem overly excited.
Yes, I am, because this is the day to pray for Ghana's peace, wisdom for our leaders, strength for our youth, and prosperity for every Ghanaian.
So, what if you are not a Christian or a Muslim?
Then you pray to the God you believe in.
The theme is Reflect, Reset and Renew for National Prosperity. Venue for Christian service is the forecourt of the State House at 8 a.m. followed by the Muslim service at the National Mosque Kanda at 12:30 p.m. These services will also be held simultaneously in all regions across the country.
Hajia, have you heard the news?
1st July, National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving. We are represented.
Confident smile is everything. Kel Charcoal toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kel Charcoal toothpaste. Kel Charcoal toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo Kendini, who be here, Semetra Sapapadia to a mammy manful. Kel Charcoal's natural ingredients, and a bomb is several buying, a man is swing, and a sansu mama hotel so a will beg you.
Kel Charcoal toothpaste. Choose Kel Charcoal toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth, and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kel. Happy smile.
Cratchy, unemu bua unkoisha Dr. Ban uye denwa.
Oh, Mr. Yamfan come and me buru.
Mami do buru. Ni atele be ko bra. Mumi yamfan ko Dr. Ban ho. Dr. Ban o ya de. Bra, se ba no mpemu adwuma sasabro slow Dr. Ban o ye.
So ni yemi kwana meka. Oh no mpemu nimdi ono na ye expert nya zanfo no. O akra any Kumasi no mpemu expect yen kan kyerɛw.
Abusiafo ye mama kwaba eba Children's Palace. Nkwala nyema nyina fie enye. Yonkwala ntade mani mema nyina ntare nyina wase. Yonkwala shoes, yonkwala duane, yonkwala wipes, yonkwala diapers, yonkwala toys, baby cot. In fact, bibia opama o manyina obenye biwa ase.
Located at East Legon Hills, Nana Chrome KFC. Contact us on 059-6377-172. Children's Palace. Happy children, happy fashion. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Sometimes the unexpected happens and the hero falls down in his own story. But he needs not stay down for long. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance is your trusted health partner. Whether an individual building a business, with Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern. For the best health insurance solutions for corporate institutions, groups and associations, families and individuals, choose Cosmopolitan Health Insurance from our over 700 accredited health service providers nationwide. Call us on 0302-540-668 or 0501-678-547 for all your health insurance solutions. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson,
Me didn't tum. Mr. Femi Kalika, just call me cockroach. Now, Mr. Femi once now.
Hey, that's you. Improve car. Yeah. Captain Mosquito, double the action. Sasso spray, Mr. Femi Sasso quell. Yeah, go to my Sasso, come on, Tom Preco.
I'm here at Mycom JA Limited to show you the Promethean Active Panel, the ultimate tool for corporate institutions, hospitals, schools, and your home. With it, crystal clear 4K display and an unbreakable screen with an ultra responsive touch technology. This isn't just a screen, it's a game changer. For corporate institutions and in schools, this active panel can be used for Zoom meetings and PowerPoint presentation. And your homes are not left behind. You can use it to watch all your favorite programs by just connecting to a Fire Stick, and you can get access to channels like Netflix and Amazon, and voila, you are in there. At Mycom JA Limited, we provide you with the best quality products from the United States of America with 1-year warranty. You can get
buy affordable service plots and lands from estate masters. Currently selling our Nest Cottage, located at the newly proposed Airport City, with a starting price of 25,000 Ghana cedis. We also have Palm Hills, located at Panfukuro in the Gomwa East District, also with a starting price of 15,000 Ghana cedis. Available also is Coastal Park in Lakpleku, which is a 15 minutes drive from the Ningo Senior High School, having a starting price of 55,000 Ghana cedis. You will receive a free site plan with indenture once you successfully purchase a land from us. For any enquiries, contact the numbers provided Estate Masters, your most preferred estate partner.
I hereby declare 1st of July of every year as Ghana's official National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving.
Where are you going with all this?
The president just made 1st July a National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving, and I'm preparing in advance.
I mean, we're all going as a family, but you seem overly excited.
Yes, I am, because this is the day to pray for Ghana's peace, wisdom for our leaders, strength for our youth, and prosperity for every Ghanaian.
So, what if you are not a Christian or a Muslim?
Then you pray to the God you believe in.
The theme is Reflect, Reset and Renew for National Prosperity. Venue for Christian service is the forecourt of the State House at 8 a.m, followed by the Muslim service at the National Mosque Kanda at 12:30 p.m. These services will also be held simultaneously in all regions across the country.
Hajia, have you heard the news?
1st July, National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving. We are represented.
Sorry about that. You're watching Good Morning on Metro Television. My name is Audu Moro. My guest is already here, and he's a former member of Parliament for the Anyasoto. That's true. That's true. Yes, Dr. Dixon Adomakon. He's a medical practitioner and also a member of the MPP's communications team. Doc, good to see you. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
I hope you're doing very well.
It's a pleasant day.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to be here.
All right.
Granted, it's raining.
Right.
That's how much I like Metro TV.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
If there's any platform that you hold very dearly at your heart, I guess that is the Good Morning Ghana show. Yeah. We're grateful that you're always, available when we need you to be here. Yeah. But it's Stephen Amoah, your friend, Dr. Stephen Amoah. Are you?
Stika is everybody's friend.
Okay.
Stika is everybody's friend,
okay.
and he has a way of growing into you. So I'm not surprised looking at the videos.
You saw the videos?
I think he's a Jama MP.
Yeah, you call him Jama MP.
He's a Jama MP.
He loves dancing.
And I think I have to give it to him.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
he doesn't care wherever it is.
Yeah.
Whether in suit, traditional outfit, whatever it is.
Right.
Even in the beach where I'm sure he'll do Jama dancing. Yeah.
I know. It's just the way he's a very good dancer.
Vibrant.
And I'm sure that back in the day, during the, you know what the Embassy Double do? When we are organizing Miss Ghana. I'm sure back in the day, if he was interested, he could have participated. I'm sure he would have beaten the likes of Ajit Sowa. Yes, he could have beaten the likes of Ajit. Yeah, breakdancing, you know. Because he's a very good dancer. Look at him. Look at what he's doing.
Footwork.
I want to see how, you know, what kind of person he was back in the day when he was in school, you know, senior high.
His mother must have suffered a bit.
Oh, why?
Because of Hajing.
Okay.
Stikabe Hajing.
Yeah.
Stikabe Hajing.
Yeah.
But
Because
he
he
turned
just
out
loves
to be
that.
a fine old man. And the
You
way
know,
he laughs about
he's a happy-go-lucky man.
Oh, yeah. Life is
He's just loving it, man.
Dr.
You know.
Stephen Amwa.
Yeah.
PhD holder.
Yeah. So he's now confirmed. He's now with the Kennedy camp, Kennedy Japan camp.
That's where he is.
That's where he is.
Yeah.
So it's himself and then who else?
I think Kwating is also.
And then there's also Andy Apia Kubi.
No, Andy is with Brian.
Oh, and he's with you. Yes. So for now, it's Stephen Amwa and who?
Well, I think
in
I know him
in Kent's camp.
In Ken's camp, and
Okay.
you know, there are a few others.
A few others.
Yeah, a few others.
Okay.
We are liberated to go wherever we choose.
You want to,
So,
yeah. But it's important that we mention that when you come on this show, you're representing the MPP.
Oh, yes.
Of course, you're not stooped to say a few words.
It's party first.
Yes, party first.
It's party
Okay.
first,
All right.
and let me use this opportunity once you've gone there.
Okay.
To say that I am very much in support of our leader, minority leader, Afenyo Makin, when he says that there shouldn't be open declaration in the sense that the 9th parliamentarians ought to carry themselves in such a manner that they don't disintegrate, because you need that cohesion in parliament, and then more importantly, their followers, so that you know, some things don't trickle down in terms of conflicts and acrimony. So I'm in support of Afenyo Makin's comment, and some have misunderstood me when I said that public declaration does not, you know, necessarily lead to the person voting for you. You know, in my small time in politics. You say, you know, they are the same people that will trouble you. And what it means by that is that you can get all the funds and go and get a 0 vote. And that is politics. So we need to be mindful and also make sure that we unite the party by the actions we take. Yeah.
And in your case, you have also taken a decision.
Yes.
You have
I'm
also
a former
joined.
member of
You're a
parliament.
former member of parliament. You're not, so that policy doesn't affect you, or that directive doesn't affect you.
Yeah.
But you have decided to take a decision. You are aligning with the Brani Champon campaign.
Correct.
And I saw you. When I saw you, I was like, oh, when? You know? And I think it had to do with when the, what's the name? Your Ashanti Regional Chairman.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Wuntumi, you know, was arrested.
Correct.
And subsequently detained. And I saw you and Brian all over the place. So I was wondering what was happening. And it was later, subsequently, when I saw you speaking on his behalf.
Correct.
And then I said, okay, so that's what's happening. And so in your case, again, it's you and the Apia Kubi for now. I think you're the two notable.
Lawyer Rekubube is.
Rekubube is also there.
Yes,
Okay.
and OPK.
OPK, yes. OPK is
you
also
know,
with you.
Also with us.
Okay. I'm even told Carlos Ahenkra.
Yes.
The former MP for, I
he's
think, Tema
also-
West.
Yes.
I think it's Tema
He's
West.
also on
with
board.
you. He's also on board.
In fact, I mean, this is a very major project. We feel that if both sides are duking it out, Brian serves as a conduit for unity.
Okay.
You know, within the party.
So you're looking at a compromise candidate kind of thing?
Strategic
candidate.
You know,
not compromise, strategic.
you know, strategic candidate, and we think that one, age is on his side. Even if we're fighting till 2032, age is on his side. And he'll be a formidable candidate, especially if we push this project. And more importantly, in fact, let me say this, that many are not aware of his information systems background, which we've been touting even within the MPP with regards to advancement of technology and how it can help us in terms of the digital economy.
Yeah.
So that is his strength, and that is what he has worked with to produce so many companies. I think when it comes to that, his dominance in this country, like Bill Gates of our time, is known to many, and I think that based on that aspect and the fact that the world is tilting towards AI and advancement through technology, I think he's apt for the times that we're in, and should be looked at. So those are some of the key reasons. People know him for just Rock City, but in fact, his real deal is into systems, and that's what his PhD is in. Granted, he has a 4 master's degree.
He has 4 master's degree?
Yes. MBA, securities, amongst others, LLM, and others. So I think he's a fantastic guy. Every day I get to even learn more about him. And one key thing, he's very decisive.
Yeah.
And that is very important for me. And in fact, you need to make sure he appreciates whatever you are intending for him to do.
Okay.
And that is tough sometimes. To win his decision it takes a while, and I like that about him. His thoroughness, and I think he has the experience. He was the chief of staff for Jake Obichebe Lamte, and I think his tutelage under Jake makes him very rich in terms of the MPP history.
His tutelage under who again?
Jake Obichebe.
Oh, Jake Obichebe, the former national chairman. May he so rest in peace.
And I think that he understudied somebody who was the bosom of the MPP in terms of its true tradition, and I'm happy about that. And more importantly, I think that he desires for us to revisit what MPP has always been. A party of intellectuals, a party where dissenting minds are acceptable. It's been so bad, I think, of late that when you are dissenting, people don't like it at all. But I really think that we should embrace, all kinds of ideas and then choose what is apt for our time, instead of this one size fits all. And that is what we are trying to break away from. The true tradition allows for intellectual discourse, and I think former President Kufuor has hammered it again that we should do our politicking irrespective of the way people color it with either religion and tribalism, and I think that I'm very much in support, and that's why we need to do it devoid of those things and look at the data, and what the data advises, we make sure we go with it, and if we're using data, people then should not read into it in terms of religion and as it is tribalism, and I think that I've told some Greater Accra people that if we even replicate just what Brian did in the Eastern region to hold the Eastern region in Greater Accra, my goodness, we can recover many more seats, and for that key reason of recovering more seats, I'm for Brian Acheampong, because our relevance in government or our path to securing victory in 2028 rests very seriously on our ability to recover traditionally held seats by the MPP.
Okay.
I mean, the Dobin Kwabinyas, to say the least, and, Ablekuma North, to say the least. So these are some of the key reasons that I think that, as for us in Greater Accra, we need to, as it is, lobby Brian Acheampong to extend the Eastern Love to Greater Accra and to turn the tides around. And I think that for that reason, he'll be our best candidate.
Right.
If our priority is to win, and if our priority is to recover seats, certainly he stands tall. Yeah.
So Brian is more or less like the
unifier.
He's been positioned as the Ghana's answer to Bill Gates. Sort of.
Some call him the Eastern Elon Musk. Interestingly.
Oh, Eastern Elon.
But he's been known as a governor largely because of his contribution.
Okay.
Not just in the Eastern region, but largely because of how he held down the Eastern region for the MPP.
Okay.
In the last election. Yeah.
I've known Brian since 2006 or 2007.
Okay.
I was then at CTFM. He was running a company called Into IT.
Yes, that's right.
And I think it was a software company.
Correct.
Yes, and at the time, I was the one he recruited to be doing a lot of his voiceovers and once in a while advise him on how to, effectively market his products.
Correct. So you were there at the early...
Those are the early stages. I think he had returned from the States not long ago, and he wanted to set up some businesses here in Ghana. So I've known him for a very, very long time. So that's how far back our relationship goes. Except that he's been very busy for all of us now. So we can only wish him well.
I'll relay the message to him.
Myself and Annie, we say hello.
I will. I will
say
relay
hello.
the message.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But I noticed that in most of the newspapers, in fact, in some of the newspapers, there are some. In fact, the newspapers are washed with a lot of the things or some things that he said at some fora. And now that you've talked about, it was yesterday, yes. Now that you talked about him, perhaps you would help us appreciate what Brian is trying to communicate.
Yeah.
It says, lead Africa's AI revolution. Dr. Brian Acheampong charges youth. So this is not actually meant to be one of our main topics, but once the man is here and he's in Brian Acheampong's camp, so perhaps we just think it's important that he throws some more light on this for us to get exactly what is it that Brian is trying to communicate to us. So if you see, it's in Daily Guide, it's in the Business and Financial Times, what's the name? Okay, I think it's in I saw.
It's over there.
Which one? Yes. It's in the Ghanaian Times as well. That's true. It's in the Ghanaian Times business, and then also the Catholic Standard. What is he saying?
Well, I mean, it was eye-opening for me yesterday at the Unimark University.
Okay.
Where he talked about the fact that we need to embrace AI.
Okay.
And he gave a very simple example that, and I take it dearly. He says that the distance on our maps have not changed, but a company like Uber, just by virtue of letting you know how much time it will take for a car to get to you, is now $1 billion worth company, and that's the beauty of AI. So the automobile industry, the cars are the same, the distance to you same. But by virtue of using AI to tell people how close the car is or how much time it will take, just that is earning this company billions of dollars.
Okay.
And for that matter, Ghanaians, we need to look to embracing it. And he also recommended that the education institutions should find a way to embrace it so that students can be prepared for the next jobs.
Okay.
And the key thing is that, people think that AI comes to replace people, but he thinks that if you are creative enough and you embrace the advanced technology, it would rather enhance our productivity in this country. And I really was, surprised, and I learned quite a bit through that. And I really think that if the youth in this country gets to understand information systems better, and appreciated, a lot of things will be streamlined. In fact, not to say the least. You know, elsewhere, when there's traffic lights are able to adjust the timing, you know, but in Ghana, as you can see, we have human beings, you know, right there trying to, and if it's raining, that person leaves. So these are ways and means in which we can really advance, you know, the technological things in this country, and the youth should embrace it, and it's the future.
Okay.
And he says one thing, that it is not coming, it is here. So we all need to, you know, I even need to try and learn more of these technological things to abreast myself and be able to see how we can use it in the healthcare industry. Yeah.
That's interesting. That's interesting. And I want you to watch something. Watch this.
Okay.
Eta makuku dem nami Nova.
Chaboy. Yeni na yenim. Se Isa. Emune we. Na efieda. Ena ye boy Yesu aseliam. Ochina obesori. It's your neck, quite them said, you could be a car, and my own toy, another one. Officer Sam, and I'm a Junaha. Camera for the movement, and I'm in the cabin. Officer Sam, I'm a Junaha, because NDC Poe, or Moonpo. 2024, Abano win it. Now, where we nearby, Yedimona, where we nearby, Yedimona, young from one night, young from watching them before we win it. And that time, now, because I said no. Nakana, you want to move. What did you Patapa? Any person saying about the 2024 now? The veterans say we have the band. The veterans say we have the band. We have the band.
Dixon.
Yeah. So
that's him.
Yeah.
Now, whether you like it or not, these comments he's made in the past will come up in the campaign.
Yeah.
And I hope you're fully aware of how these comments that he has made in the past has sort of painted him and positioned him in the minds of some people. I don't want to use certain words, but is that an issue, and how do you intend to deal with it?
Well, in fact, we are very mindful of this.
Okay.
And, you know, he himself said it was a low point during his politicking. And he's not very fond and happy about how there was one portrayed in the political arena because, you know, local language and English, totally different. But if I would reiterate, he said that he was hopeful that the MPP will win, and should we win, will not transfer power. And I think the logic makes sense. But at any rate, I mean, these were, in politics, some notoriety, as it is, you know, makes your name known. But in terms of baggage, I think Honorable Dr. Bernie Champon has the least, even amongst, let me say, the other candidates. And let's put it in perspective. This was to boost morale of our following and to get people excited about working for the MPP to win. Beyond that, I think if you fast forward, power is in the hands now of the NDC, and it wasn't that should we win or lose, we will not hand over power. It was that MPP would win, and when we win, we will not hand over power. But here we are, we lost miserably. And I think that is even one of the key reasons why, looking at the losses, the devastating and, as it is, emotionally challenging That is one of the key reasons why he feels strongly that he can overturn the tides of the party. He invested so much and was very hopeful that we could win. And as it is, man plans, but God disposes. So here we are. It rather, as it is, have been rather encouraging for him to say that no, we need to change the trajectory. We need to change the narrative, and for that reason, he's coming with the vision to change and to align Ghanaians with that job creation, agro processing and infrastructural development. So we're very hopeful, and his conviction is right on. Yeah.
So the whole talk about him having violent tendencies and so on and so forth, it's something that you say would be dealt with at that perception as him being a violent person is something. It's a perception that you intend to deal with.
No, I mean I think this week he made mention of the fact that his Presbyterian tutelage or Presbyterian upbringing has impacted his decisions over time. And admittedly, I know based on my conversations with him that he regrets that bit. And if he could, turn around, his wordings would be different. But as it stands, I mean, he's a very family man, very, business oriented. And for that matter, his temperament and composure is just right for Ghana. So many are even rather impressed that he talks less, and he's a man of few words, let me put it that way. But let me add that I was impressed because of his time in the Volta region. He speaks quite fluent Ewe.
Okay.
And
how many languages does he speak?
Well, I know of Ga, Ewe, and Twi English.
Okay.
I'm yet to be surprised with something else, but as it stands now, what I've seen him do is Ewe, Ga, Twi, and English, and Pidgin. Pidgin is not a language.
Pidgin, right? Yes.
Boys,
I think his first video was in Pidgin.
Boys know say Pidgin be a language.
We know. We hear him as he talk. We hear him as he talk. So we they listen. We they observe. Anyway, but finally, there's a lot of what I'll call pillow talk here and there. That Dr. Brane Champong is a creation or it's a project of the former president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure you've heard it too. That Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is the one behind Dr. Brane Champong's campaign, ambition, or behind his campaign and his presidential ambition. Have you heard it? And what do you have to say about it?
No, I think that case in point, we all know.
I mean, it's just rumor mill.
Yes. We all know that, first of all, Brian has worked heavy for MPP. In fact, apparently, is rumored that he contributed the highest for the 2016 victory financially.
Financially?
Yeah.
Okay.
And for that matter, I think that it won't be surprising that Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo would tilt towards Brane Champong, ticket. But be it as it may,
you don't know it for a fact.
We're yet to visit with the president because he's out of the country, the former president.
The former president.
We visited President Kufuor and had an engagement with him. We're yet to visit with Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Granted, he's given him a call to let him know prior to this. So we'll wait and see how the narrative goes. And, I've always said that past performance are no guarantees, in the sense that Nana is at liberty to change who he prefers for flag bearership. But as it stands now, we unfortunately have not been able to visit him in person because he's not in the country. And we'll do so as soon as we are aware that the former president is in country. But the key thing, Brian has been on his own, and in fact, he was one of the few last ministers of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's, quote unquote administration, and he's the last to also proffer interest, and Brian in local parlance ordinary. So if we had a candidate who was not as resourceful as Brian, then maybe I would say that okay, we have the president, the former president, but Brian is on his own, and he took this decision, and he's going to stay with it to the end.
Okay.
And we welcome all sort of endorsements, and I think I'm even flattered to rather hear that the former president may throw his support for us, but beyond that, we are working heavy, independent, and we welcome all who wish to join us. To join us, and as it stands, I think that, like I said, we are the middle ground and a sure path to a one-touch victory.
All right.
For MPP.
Okay. All right. So let's make progress.
Okay.
And we had to kickstart the show with this conversation about Dr. Brian, because obviously the man who is here with us, who's representing the MPP, has also declared publicly that he would want to support Dr. Brian Acheampong. So we just had to tease a few issues from him, and it only makes sense. We'll do that. I mean, if somebody's here, the person is for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, will do the same. Kenneth Agyapong will do it. We're not taking any sides at all. So please don't read any meanings into anything. Now, let's look at a story which I personally find very, very exciting, and very fascinating, because my predecessor, Dr. Randy Abbey, has been on this advocacy for the longest time. I mean, and it's something I totally agree. I agreed with him, and I've also been thinking about it. I've always wondered why, when we have a holiday on, say, Tuesday, we come to work Monday, Tuesday we go on a holiday, Wednesday we're back, Thursday, Friday. I thought it was something. It was a very incongruous and a very funny arrangement, And we've been talking for the longest time that how difficult will it be? And we thought it was a no-brainer. How difficult will it be to just shift the holiday to a Friday? And if it falls on a Friday, on a Saturday, Sunday, take it to Monday, as we've always done. But it looks like finally, somebody has heard us, and it is happening.
Mm-hmm.
So the Public Holidays Act. And the Public Holidays and Commemorations Act is being reformed, and it has captured those concerns that we've had, or that advocacy we have been on for a very long time. So, first of all, congratulations to Dr. Randy Abbey, and I'm sure that he'll be a very happy man, knowing what has happened, what has just happened. Now, Daily Guide today, page 6, says government introduces new holiday for Muslims, and it's Ernest Kofi Edu in Parliament House says Parliament has passed the Public Holidays and Commemorative Days Amendment Bill 2025, officially establishing Shag Day as a new statutory public holiday. Now, this move is part of a broader legislative reform to the Public Holidays and Commemorations Days Act 2001, Act 601, which also reinstates Republic Day on July 1 as a public holiday. Now, Shag Day will be observed annually on the day immediately following Eid al-Fitr, a major Islamic festival marking the end of Ramadan. Now, the Minister for Interior, Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak, said that the introduction of this holiday fulfills a key pledge in the 2024 election manifesto of the NDC and honors the public commitment of President John Dramani Mahama to promote religious inclusivity. Okay, now presenting the bill to Parliament, he emphasized that the amendment reflects Ghana's evolving social fabric and commitment to equitable recognition of the country's diverse religious and cultural, identities. Again, another major highlight of the bill is the restoration of the Republic Day as a statutory public holiday, and the day which previously held only commemorative status marks Ghana's transition to a republic in 1960. And then there's also, so for me, this is one of the most exciting parts, where it says holiday flexibility for productivity. And we're told that additionally, the bill empowers the president to shift the observance of setting mid-week holidays to preceding Monday or the following Friday. So, a measure intended to enhance productivity and boost tourism. However, this provision will not apply to religious holidays such as Eid, Christmas, or the newly added Shak Day. Now, under the amendment, if the public holiday falls on Saturday or Sunday, the President can declare the following Monday or preceding Friday as the day of observance. He argued that this aligns Ghana's holiday practices with international best practice that seek to minimize workplace disruption and improve work-life balance. With the passage of the bill, the first schedule of the Act 601 has been revised to include Shak Day and Republic Day as public holidays, while Republic Day has removed from the commemorative list, leaving African Union Day May 25. So from this, the impression I get is that even the Constitution Day, which is on January 7, right, has also been taken out.
Yeah.
And anyway, I mean, once these were political decisions, they were always subject to all kinds of changes and so on. So it's not surprising. But anyway, so I don't know what you also make of this, these changes.
I think in the interest of productivity, this is positive.
Okay.
I think that, especially the midweek holidays, from an employer standpoint, sometimes your employees don't even want to come back. So you end up, when the holiday is on Wednesday, you end up losing productivity on Thursday and Friday. So I welcome the idea. And I also think that it helps with time management. If a Tuesday holiday is moved to Friday, it gives all of us a longer weekend and an enjoyable longer weekend for that matter. Now, I also think that Ghana has had too many holidays. That's my thinking. Granted that I haven't done the calculation to see that these manipulations have reduced our number of holidays or not. Elsewhere in the US, let me admit that like the Jewish holidays, it's not necessarily compulsory for all Americans to adhere to it.
Yeah.
Companies have their own policies, you know. So I think that some should be national and some should be dependent on groupings. If you are in that grouping, your employer would allow you to, enjoy it.
Yeah.
And these are some of the things we need to look at. But in all of this, I think that I'm hoping that there should be some consensus so that not every administration comes with its own, as it is, acceptable holidays. We need to be mindful of that. And we need to take it serious as a country so that, we have this thing where the NDC calls the Jubilee House Flagstaff House and the NPP says the Jubilee House. I mean, those
we'll
things,
be playing political football with these things.
It's not necessary. So I mean, I know one of the things we remember was the Founders Day, Founder Day thing. Or is it Kwame Nkrumah's birthday?
Yeah.
So I think that we need to rise above that and have a sit down and have a national forum to agree once and for all. And when that is agreed upon, we won't see MPP come and change, and we won't see NDC come and change. We need some consistency, and mind you, this can mess you up if you're doing social studies in JHS. In terms of multiple questions, so which is which now? You get my point. So and I'm hoping that examiners will pay attention to this and not trouble their students with questions on national holidays.
Yeah.
Because then, people have learned Constitution Day to be 7th of January.
Yeah.
Now it's no more. And how then do your teachers, stick to one thing? But who am I? But I really think that for education in this country and for us to be consistent, we need to look at that. And the other thing in the Western world is that holidays come with additional salaries. You pay a time and a half.
Yeah.
So when you are adding holidays up, you have to look at your state coffers to see how much it will cost you. Because once you add an additional holiday, that means you, the government, you're ready to pay people a time and a half.
Yeah.
You understand, when they work on those days. So these are some of the nuances that matter, and also the loss of productivity in this country. People call out for malaria too much, and those are all things that cost us in terms of productivity. But is welcome,
okay,
especially because of productivity,
right?
And when we know that there are no midweek holidays. We go in Monday, we work full to Thursday, and we enjoy. So does that mean that if it's a 2-day holiday, then what happens? It'll be now Thursday, Friday. Is that what's going to happen? I'm curious.
I think those are that's a very interesting question, and very important
it shouldn't be Friday, Monday.
Right.
I don't know what they are going to decide, but it should rather be Thursday.
So for instance, you're looking at a situation where
the new Muslim regime.
Yes.
It's 2 days.
Yes, it's 2 days.
So would we rather have it Thursday, Friday?
Well,
Interior Minister has to answer.
I think I mean, if Eid falls on, say, on a Tuesday,
it should be.
Knowing
Thursday, Friday.
Muslims would still go and pray. They won't wait till Friday. They'll go and pray.
Yeah.
But I think that the interesting or the important question you asked is that can you seek permission from your employer and say, I have to go and pray because today is Eid?
Yeah.
When your employer says, well, you can't go because Friday, you have a holiday coming up on Friday, so please stay and work. How do we, of course, there's religious freedom, but we also know some of what some of the challenges, we also know some of the challenges that people face in their various workplaces. I just hope and pray that this new arrangement would not then legitimize a situation where some employers would say, well, you can't go and pray, or you can't go and pray Eid because you have a holiday coming up on Friday, Eid is on Monday.
Or Christmas.
Or even Christmas.
Imagine the whole world is celebrating on the 25th.
And they say, oh no, Christmas is on Tuesday. You can't celebrate Christmas because you have a holiday coming up on Friday. So we need to find.
But the good thing is that Christmas usually is a block of period.
Yes. So it's almost like a week.
People are off
for most employees. But it still doesn't take away the importance of the question you've asked for the other holidays. Those things ought to be fine-tuned. And I hope that they will find expression in their life.
In their life,
so that it's clear.
It'll be clear. It'll be clear.
It's extremely important. But you also raised a very important question about how do we ensure consistency? How do we come together and ensure that we don't have a situation where, depending on which party is in government, you have new holidays or some holidays are cancelled or are revoked and so on and so forth. It's a very important question.
We need to be consistent as a country.
When Nana-Addo introduced those holidays, in fact, that was the conversation at the time.
Yeah.
And here we're back here. The chickens have come home to roost, and we've taken all of those things out again. And we don't know who the next president will be, in the future, and what he also thinks about what should be a holiday and what should not be. So it's a very important question. We must have a bipartisan consensus. Agreement on this or consensus on this matter, So I don't know how you think we can do this.
Well, there should be a deliberate attempt to bring all the various stakeholders to table, and including historians, who add to the relevance of all of this. And then let me also add that you may not necessarily need a holiday to glorify somebody.
Right.
Sometimes you build a monument, a museum, and or in the case of, for instance, Atta Mills, I feel that where he was born, there should be a powerful edifice as we speak, where Kwame Nkrumah was born.
In Ochiam, isn't it?
Yes, where Kwame Nkrumah was born. By now, we should have put a very nice edifice there, and not necessarily do a holiday for commemoration of his birth. That's just me thinking out loud. And that's a huge market opportunity for people in the tourism industry. And I've always been crying, and this one is totally different. When you go to the Cape Coast Castle, there are no paraphernalias. And what I mean by that is that gift things that are symbolic of slave trade.
Okay.
And I think that those souvenirs, I mean, listen, when you go to other memorial places in America, you walk away with calendars, you walk away with clothing that have, like, you know, things that are symbolic of that place. And I really think that artisans should look into that.
Okay.
I have the Parliament of Berlin, I mean, England, Germany.
Okay.
You know, a very nice casing done. We could do small modules of the castle and also have people have that in remembrance of the experience of the castle. I'm talking about not Osu Castle, I'm talking about the Elmina, you know, or the slave trade, you know, depiction. So these are my thoughts for people involved in tourism and for people managing, you know, even the Kwame Nkrumah place here. You'd go and walk away with nothing. There should be a shop that has not just his books, because a lot of us are lazy when it comes to reading.
Okay.
But a statue, something, a chain, necklace, or these things we put around the hand, which have, you know, things for you to remember, right? Kwame Nkrumah or whoever we choose to celebrate. And I think that we should look into that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's quickly look at the. So first of all, I need to say this, that we're expecting Eric Agbana, who's MP for the Ketu North constituency, to join us shortly. And he was supposed to have been here like an hour and a half ago, but he's dealing with some domestic challenge. But he should be here shortly. So we're expecting Eric Agbana, who's the MP for Ketu North, to join us on the show. So those of you are sending messages and asking where's the NDC rep, Edem will be here very, 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 very soon. Did you watch the suspended Chief Justice's press conference?
Yes, I did. And I've always held the opinion that for judicial independence, you know, I think that what is happening is unfortunate. And I say this with the greatest of respect to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. I believe that, you know, he's doing everything within his power to do the right thing, but there are three arms of government. And for that matter, the powers are supposed to be shared equally, not 60-40, not 50-50, but equally. And I believe that you know, this whole charade, one is impacting the judiciary in terms of the decisions that ought to have been taken already.
Right.
Some cases are being stalled because of this, whether we like it or not. Though I know there's somebody acting now, but I'm hopeful that all of us will appreciate one key thing, that when we conclude, we will be empowering the executive so much that any other government comes and he would want to nominate the Speaker of Parliament and then have his own CJ. And I really think that as the NDC has worked in the past with Georgina Wood, who was nominated and confirmed by Kufuor. You know, we shouldn't, we are doing too much politicking with everything, to the extent that, unfortunately, the NDC is butchering even civil servants who may have screamed Kukudu or screamed, you know, Ezu. And I think it's not right. You know, we're not in the, as it is, Soviet Union, where, you know, people cannot even just say anything that might not be communist. You understand? So if the NDC was able to work under Professor Atta Mills with Georgina Wood, who was brought on board by Kufuor, I really think that we should have extended, you know, the same olive branch to her. And you know, case in point, Donald Trump is struggling with justices that he appointed. You know, so because when the person wears the hat, it doesn't mean that they are necessarily going to be thinking and doing everything for you.
But your commentary so far is suggesting that the NDC government is behind this.
Well, I mean,
is that what you're suggesting?
Let me be a bit difficult here, okay?
Okay.
Under one breath, the same type of petitions were, you know, seen as not meritorious to remove the woman.
Okay.
Okay. And that is where, and under another regime, petitions that were brought or re-brought, you know, to use that word, now have found merit to even suspend her. Okay. Looking at it peripherally, you know, it begs the question. And then I made this argument.
So you're referring to Professor Kweku Aze's petition, right?
Now let me add one key thing.
Okay.
I'm even troubled by the fact that, based on what she said, that the idea of expanding the justices' number is even one of the petitions. When our president has now brought 7 nominated and confirmed, you know, so it begs the question that we're hanging this woman for a crime that was not committed, because the NDC did not allow us to even, as it is, confirm the 5.
That's fine. But before you proceed with that, you made a statement earlier. Which statement was that there were petitions that were ferried to the presidency and the previous regime.
Yes.
But that did not find favor with that presidency.
I said merit.
Okay.
Merit, not favor.
Oh, that's fine.
Merit.
You don't find merit.
Yes.
Okay, so it's about semantics, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay,
very.
Fine. No problem.
You know, merit is the thing.
No problem.
Yeah, merit.
And so it did
because
not.
Because Otunfo does not sack his chiefs based on just some hearsays.
I get that.
You get my point.
And your issue is that.
It's like double jeopardy.
That's fine. Your issue is that why have those same petitions been attended to by a different regime? Which petition are you referring to?
And I have even gone further.
Okay. No, first of all, which petition?
No, let me come in here.
Okay.
I've even gone further to add that it is incongruous, okay, that one of the things this woman is being hanged for is her recommendation that, based on the cases they have at the Supreme Court, she felt strongly that they should expand the numbers, okay? She was being hanged. I remember the Okudzeto Ablakwa saying that Ghana has enough Chief Justices. I remember Sam George saying that we don't need any more. And these were the strong arguments that the NDC was making. Yes, Fidieno saw Minia Usumko, a Jaosa Usumko. Suddenly, I don't know if it's coffee or whatever the NDC drank or Kool-Aid. Suddenly, a party that was strongly in opposition to expanding and was hanging this woman for it. In the same breath, before even attending to her case, the president nominates 7, not 5, 7. My goodness. I would have said that El Presido, Ofane, ke ye hangle for 5, nye face 7.
Adumaku, you have found a very nice way of avoiding my question.
So I'm coming back to it. I'm coming back to it.
I'll bring you in. Yes.
Welcome, though. Honorable. Welcome.
You have welcome, even before I welcome you. Welcome you.
Welcome.
Anyway, so that's the man.
Yes,
that's the man.
People were wondering.
I wanted you to start well,
and that is the nature of parliamentary work.
Yes.
Sometimes you wake up and your program changes entirely. So I understand.
Yes.
Welcome to parliamentary life.
Otherwise, Adam is very prompt. He's very timely.
These things happen.
But these things happen. Anyway.
It happens.
So back to the question.
So my key point is that, listen, let's be just a bit, and one other interesting thing.
You haven't answered my question.
Let me come on board.
Okay. All right.
One other interesting thing is that, during the campaign trail, at some point, unbeknownst to John Dramani Mahama, he unfortunately alluded to changing the justice system.
No, he never said that.
Oh, you haven't seen the video?
I've seen the video.
Which of them?
It was. I think it was a virtual conversation he was having with a group of NDC minds. I mean, legal brains, lawyers, basically lawyers. And I think he addressed them virtually. Yes, he addressed them virtually. And I recall at the time the conversation was about,
making change.
Yes, making changes. Well, that's if you want to
so
put it that way.
So this is premeditated.
Now, but I didn't hear the president, the former president at the time, saying that he was going to orchestrate the removal of a chief justice.
No. I didn't hear that. I haven't said orchestrate.
Okay,
please. Yeah. I said that.
No, because it's in relation to.
Oh, you see, you are using your words. You know, I didn't use the word orchestrate. Okay. I'm saying, and listen, when you're doing defense, you go all out.
Right.
And my point is that just the mere commentary by the president that when he comes, when he lands, it was like a campaign promise.
Yeah.
And it's playing out. And if you and I should meet a situation and fire a weapon, the key question they would ask is that did you have issue with the person before? And if there was an issue with the person before, then your actions will be looked at differently. So in putting all of these things together, my biggest thing, and forgive me, many pundits have spoken and did write about the woman's recommendation of 5. And here we are, we've already even confirmed 7. So it begs the question, and listen, this same judiciary, in some instances, agreed with the NDC, some of the cases. In some instances, too, did not. And I'm hoping. My key thing is that it looks cool now. If you're NDC, it looks cool. I'm more of a generational thinker, and I'm asking that question that tomorrow, if the NPP president comes and he says that whoever John Dramani Mahama has appointed today as CJ, he doesn't want it, what are we going to do then? So is it going to now be in a normal practice that when every president comes, then he starts nominating both parliamentary, which is the legislative, the Speaker of Parliament, and then the CJ? This is where I have a problem. We are setting ourselves up for that. Because, trust me, being a Ghanaian, and what I know, if His Excellency prosecutes this, 4 years from now, so even within the NDC, should the NDC win 2028, the prerogative would then have been given to any executive branch leader, which is the president, to also come, if Edem should come up as the president for Ghana next year. No, let me just make my argument. Edem, even within the own NDC, can say that, this is my cousin, so I wish to change, the CJ. And we would have set ourselves up for this.
But we need to be
restrained.
No, but you see,
we need to be restrained.
Yeah, but your commentary is based on a certain belief that what is happening today is being orchestrated by the president. And I'm asking you why.
I didn't say orchestrated.
No, because of all the things you've said about tomorrow and that president.
Well, he did the suspension without even. And let me add.
Okay.
In simple legal terms. If somebody petitions my employee, about something, I cannot suspend without hearing my employee. And the fact remains that she was even suspended before having a hearing.
But that's also not true.
Oh, the president did not listen to her.
You remember she requested. You remember she requested for copies of the petition.
Yes. No, the suspension had already been effected.
No. We need to get a chronology right.
Okay, I'm listening.
The president was petitioned. The president then ferried the petition to the Council of State in line with Article 146. But when the president ferried it to the Council of State, then the Chief Justice said, I'm aware some persons have petitioned against my removal as Chief Justice.
But I don't know.
Why haven't you given me a copy of the petition for me to make some input even before you make a decision?
And she's right about that.
So the president then replied and said, but why don't you, hold on a minute, I will not deny you that opportunity for you to make a comment before a prima facie decision is established or a prima facie case is established. And the president went ahead and even complained about how the petition had found itself in the public domain and so on and so forth. Then she was given an opportunity to make an input. She made an input. was ferried back to the Council of State, and the decision was taken that, look, based on what the petitions had said and the responses that she had given, there was basis for her, for a prima facie case has been established, and so she should step aside. That's the chronology of events. She wasn't asked to step aside before giving the petition for her to make an input.
Oh,
that's the point.
But even in her narrative yesterday.
No, she didn't say that.
No, in her narrative
she
yesterday.
Didn't say that
I'm drawing your attention to the $4,000 issue.
Yes.
Which I think, quite frankly, is one of the most. I didn't even want to go into that because it's so ridiculous.
Now you're getting to the specifics in terms of what she said.
It's so ridiculous.
But I'm talking about the sequence of events.
If I should petition Parliament right now, we'll see, probably similar things.
All right.
So then, are we going to then ask for the removal of the Speaker of Parliament?
That's fine.
I'm just being like, listen, we need to be very mindful. And guided. All right. These things doesn't make it right.
Okay. But safe to say,
I'm Ghanaian first. Okay, not MPP, not NDC.
All right, but safe to say that the only petition which I recall, and I stand to be corrected, the only petition that I recall was sent to the former president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, that I recall had to do with in fact, that was what was made the headlines, and everybody was talking about it, obviously because of the person involved. Professor Kwaku Aza, he sent a petition to the president. The president said there was no merit. And gave his reasons why. I don't want to get into all of that.
To even add to it.
Now, what we don't know.
The Speaker has sacked MPs from the chamber.
Okay. But
why is that a judge should walk somebody out of her chamber?
Yeah, but
listen.
I'm just making a quick one.
But
the petitions that were sent to the I don't know because
some have been made public, and I'm telling you,
but there's not
case by case.
The Professor Kwaku was not part of it.
Case by case.
Yes,
case by case. These things
yes,
are a bit, ridiculous for me. I'm just speaking as an ordinary Ghanaian. Speaker have sacked. I remember Sifi also MP.
Yeah,
he walked him out. But our standing orders are different from.
Oh no,
we don't know the codes of
the legislature. When the Speaker sits, is like his courtroom.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But Parliament standing orders.
He said the two are not the same.
So he's walked out somebody causing disturbance in the chamber.
But
how is that related? It's not related because we have our own. We have our own standing orders.
No, what I'm saying is that for a judge to walk somebody disturbing the judicial process out, come on.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So that's one of the issues that we got against her.
Yes. So Moro, good morning to you.
You heard her too. I'm sure you listened to her.
Yes.
I want Ghanaians to know that we are different parties, but we're your brothers.
Okay. So Moro, let me say good morning to our cherished viewers, and let me offer my apologies to you, to our producer, and to all the viewers. I'm very, very punctual, but today I needed to attend to an emergency, which kept me delayed your program for a while, and so I sincerely apologize. But on my way here, I listened to you, and I listened to my brother, Dr. Adamo Kisi, and I can say that the MPP internal primaries is quite an interesting one. We are monitoring keenly because obviously, as the government of the day, we should have an interest in what happens within the camp of the opposition party, and so we are monitoring keenly. And it's interesting how our colleagues in Parliament are dividing themselves among the candidates, except that the numbers being quoted because they have only 88 members of Parliament, and so today you would hear Dr. Bawumia's camp saying they have 60 MPs. You will hear Kennedy Japon's team also saying that they have 57.
They say
40. When you add the numbers, it appears as though some people are playing 3 or 4 different camps.
You suspect ghost names?
The MPP is very, very synonymous to ghost names. So I'm not surprised that even in declarations for candidates, among 88 people, there are some ghost names. And I've seen that some of them are hiding. Some of them are not able to come out openly to declare where they belong. But we are watching them. it's interesting, some of the things that we are hearing now. And it only vindicates the NDC that our campaign in 2024 was a campaign built on truth and nothing else. Because we attacked the economic records of Dr. Bawumia, but because at the time he was their candidate, they were defending him. Today, many of them agree with us that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was a terrible handler of the economy, that he mismanaged Ghana's economy, and indeed he wasn't competent. Today, they are telling us.
Who is telling
the
us?
The MPP is telling us. The MPP MPs who are declaring for other candidates are telling us. We have heard. I mean, we are reading a lot. We have seen videos. And many of the candidates are telling us that they lost the 2024 elections also because the candidate was not good enough. And that's the reason why many of them are dividing themselves and following.
I spoke to Aduma Kukisi earlier, and I asked him why he decided to join the Dr. Brian camp, the Dr. Brian Champon camp. He didn't say about me.
No, but the truth is that, you see, let's be, I mean, as for Dr. Adoma Kukisi, we know him. And his style of politics is one that all of us, many of us admire. He would want to play very diplomatic with the issues and all of that. Maybe in the future, after 32 years, when Dr. Brian Achampong becomes president, maybe he will be foreign affairs. He's very diplomatic.
You mean he's
but
a
the other people, but the other people, we have heard the likes of Stika, we've heard the likes of other MPs that are not supporting Dr. Bawumia, and the things that they've said about his economic records. And so we have been vindicated that indeed, even the MPP believes and agrees with us that the last 8 years of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia were 8 years of teaching us how not to govern a country. And so they agree with that. But they say when your neighbor's beard is on fire, you fetch water against your own. And so we are also a bit careful because ours is yet to start. But the NDC, I know, is a party of discipline, a party of decency, a party of respect to the party structures. And so I don't expect ours to run into the kind of chaos and the mess that we are seeing in the NPP. And I pray that all of us actors in the NDC as well will play our cards very well and be very disciplined at all times. Be reminded that the party is bigger than any individual, and so we will not allow our own internal primaries, which lies ahead of us, to divide us. But again,
when is yours? Next year or next 2 years?
Well, the National Executive Committee is here to decide.
Okay.
But we are not in a hurry at all. But there's one thing I can assure you.
Sorry, what does the NDC's constitution say about electing a flag bearer when you are in government? Is it a year before, 2 years? Because in their case, it must be 2 years, at least 2 years before the next election.
So yes, there are constitutional provisions that says at least 2 years before the elections. But when we are in government, the constitution also gives the executive committee the discretion to decide when to do it. And so the last primaries, for example, we held it quite earlier. And last one we did the presidential and parliamentary together. So the executive committee, National Executive Committee, always has the power or the mandate to vary the rules in exercising their that discretion. But the only thing I can assure you is that we will not start building a house by roofing without a foundation. There's no way the NDC will start internal organization or reorganization by electing flag bearer first. It doesn't make sense in any political jurisdiction. But it's only the NPP because clearly there is an attempt by this executive, the bunch of national executives who led them into the ditch to record their worst defeat ever. There's an attempt to keep them in office, and so they want to organize presidential primaries first before they will now go into national elections, regional elections. Sincerely, I mean, yes, self-preservation, it doesn't make sense. And I don't know why a party that was once led by the likes of Jake Obeche-Bilante, Damboche and Co., that party will be going through this mess and people can't speak because the last 8 years, President Akufo-Addo hijacked the party, turning it into a family property. He was giving orders, left, right, center, appointing people to national executives, people who have not even worked for their party. And this is all coming from them. And so we are watching clearly, and we know that all this that they are doing will lead them nowhere. If there is any improvement, or if there's anything that they can gain in the 2028 election, it will be that their 88 seats will reduce further, and the 38% will come down even further. And we are praying that they should bring the man that they themselves are today speaking against his record. They should bring him again, so that whoever the NDC will present will give them another humiliating defeat. But more, moving on to the issues of the holidays.
Okay.
I think that there was some concerns as to whether the religious holidays will also be affected by the discretion that the LI is giving the president to move a holiday to the nearest Monday or Friday. I must say that the religious holidays are not affected by that. This is only applicable to only the commemorative holidays. Right. And so 6 March, Founders Day, like the 21st September, and the others, the AU Day and others. But the religious holidays will not be affected. But this innovative thinking by President Mahama and Cabinet is one that we must commend. It's something, like you said, the likes of Dr. Randy Abe, yourself, many of us have raised those concerns, because holidays afford us the opportunity to relax, sometimes travel to see loved ones. And so when a holiday falls on a Wednesday, and maybe your family lives in Tamale, or your family is in Georgia, you drive all the way there just to see them a few hours, you return, you are tired, you get back to work. The day after, and then the 2 or 3 days after, your productivity is clearly affected. And so this innovative thinking to move holidays to the nearest Monday or the nearest Friday to afford us a longer weekend is one that we must commend the president. I must say that Ghana is not the first country to have such holidays being applied. When you go to the US, they have similar holidays. Even in the UAE, the UAE, they move most of their holidays to the weekends. So it affords people the opportunity to have a longer weekend. I think that we must commend the Interior Minister for the swiftness with which he acted on this major campaign promise, and also the promise to give our Muslim brothers and sisters an additional holiday. We have fulfilled that as well. And so we are grateful that it took a Christian president. And I must say, because in the last election, they made a lot of noise based on religion. When they got to the Zongos, they kept telling the Zongo people that the only person that could secure their interests as Muslim would have been a Muslim president. But consistently, President Mahama has proven that though a Christian, every Ghanaian, regardless of your religious affiliation, every Ghanaian, irrespective of your social status, your ethnic leanings, or where you come from, will matter to him as president. And in his application of laws, in his thinking, in his deeds, his words, and in also the introduction of policies, President Mahama has given us very inclusive policies. The disabled feel protected, and people who are marginalized in society are all feeling protected by the leadership of President Mahama. And that is the kind of leadership that we need. A leadership that unites all of us around the flag. A leadership that believes that every Ghanaian has something unique that they can contribute to the growth of this country. And so we thank President Mahama for introducing an additional holiday for our Muslim brothers and sisters. So Moro, in brief, the issues of the holidays, I don't think that we have too many holidays. I don't think so. I don't think that we have too many holidays, because it's about the issue of productivity. Right. Okay, what you can do in 6 hours, somebody can use 2 or 3 hours to do it. What I think should rather be of concern to us is not the number of holidays, but how productive we are at the workplace. How punctual are we as Ghanaians? When you get to a public office, when you get to a civil servant's office, when you get to any public worker's office at 8 a.m. when they are supposed to start work, do they really report at 8 a.m.? Is that time dedicated to some other activities? Right. And when people, how many hours or minutes do they take for breaks? How many minutes do they spend doing other things that are not related to the work for which they are being paid. These are the issues that we really must concern ourselves with, because there's a school of thought, Moro, that productivity in the public space is on a decline because of the lackadaisical attitude of some public workers. Because when you get to a private company or a private institution, usually there is that culture of productivity, there's that culture of swiftness and alacrity with which they attend to even clients or customers. And so we need to introduce the productive culture into our public institutions. That should be of concern to us, not really the number of holidays that we have, because I don't think that we have too many holidays. We should rather be concerned about issues of productivity. Moro, the big elephant in the room, the issue of the Chief Justice. I am surprised that the suspended Chief Justice is still ranting from one place to another. She has tried to use the court, it failed. She is now attempting to appeal to the court of public opinion, and that clearly has also failed. Because Moro, in her own words, the law is the law. In all her rantings, we are yet to find or hear her and her defenders, Moro, points at a single rule or provision in the 1992 Constitution of the Republic that President Mahama has breached in the process. And I can challenge Dr. Adomaku Kisi. I can give him the Constitution. That Article 146 clearly spells out the procedure for removing a Chief Justice or a Justice of any of the courts. 1468 is clear that all proceedings under this article shall, Moro, it didn't say may. And we are drafters. You have been a member of parliament, and you know that the language and the drafters of our constitution are very careful in their choice of words. And when they say shall, it means discretion is not allowed. So 1468 says all proceedings under this article shall be held in camera, and the Chief Justice or the Justice or Chairman against whom the petition is made is entitled to be heard in his defense by himself or by a lawyer or by other expert of his choice. Where in this constitution, where in this provision is it stated that the person against whom the petition is being heard has the discretion or has the mandate to call for the proceedings not to be heard in camera? And so for a suspended Chief Justice, in her attempt to defend herself, to be butchering the law in this matter speaks a lot about how she was guided by the law when she was the Chief Justice of the Republic. Because many times, Moro, many times, we have had cause to complain about the growing discontent with decisions of our courts. We have had cause to complain about the plummeting confidence in our judiciary. And her actions in this period of trying to defend herself speaks a lot about the kind of Chief Justice she was. Moro, my second issue with the Chief Justice is that the suspended Chief Justice, only recently, the general perception of Ghanaians and many of us, including myself, our belief was that the then Chief Justice was in bed with the NPP. In fact, there are many people who believe that the Chief Justice was acting as though she was the women organizer of the NPP. That was the belief of many people, including myself. She denied and told us that the law is the law. and that she was only acting within the law, then all of a sudden, in trying to defend herself, who are her lawyers? Muru, mention her lawyers. And don't forget, I made an argument on this platform the last time I came that Godfred Dami told us in this case that by the political affiliation of your counsel, of your lawyers, your political affiliation as a client is determined. Godfred Dami's logic. So Godfred Dami said because the Venerable Chachuchi Kata was the lawyer for one of the petitioners, in his view, it was an NDC petition. Now, in this case, if that logic is accepted, it means that she, Gertrude Tokunu, is MPP and is acting as an MPP woman because your lawyer, your lead counsel, is the immediate past Attorney General, who is a member of the MPP. Godfred Dami himself.
By parity of reasoning.
By parity of reasoning. Because that is the logic you put forward. And I am saying that, is it not possible that as Chief Justice, you have worked with many lawyers, and she's telling us that the only lawyer that she has confidence in is the immediate past Attorney General who was accused of winning cases because of his affiliation to you, the suspended Chief Justice. And today, that is the person leading your case. It comes to confirm. Moro, if today, I will give you a very practical example. Moro, if today, on this show, by your words or your comments, you are defending me, and tomorrow I'm in a contest with Dr. Adomako Kissie, you become my spokesperson. It will confirm whatever allegations being raised today, that whatever comments or actions that you were taking at the time you were supposed to be an impartial host of Good Morning Ghana, you were doing it in my favor. Is that not the case?
I understand you.
So the case is that the fact that she even had the courage, the brazen courage, to overlook all her other friends in the legal fraternity and rely on Godfred Dami to be her lawyer alone, speaks to the fact that indeed all the allegations and the accusations that she was in bed with the NPP and she was determining cases based on her political affiliations may be true.
Her choice.
Number three.
Hold on. Her choice of Godfred Dami could probably just be a case of sheer coincidence.
Oh, let the judges, let the public decide. Let the public decide. Let the public decide.
She assesses the nature of her case and she comes to one firm conclusion.
Okay, so
the best person who can handle it.
So let me ask you this: Are you aware?
The former Attorney General.
Are you aware that for me, almost every lawyer that I know, have their personal lawyers.
Yes.
Because you cannot be
Adam,
a lawyer for your own case. Is that not it?
Can I come?
So is it the case that all this while, I am just asking questions, all this while, when she was Chief Justice, Godfred Dami, Attorney General at the same time, was a lawyer? I mean, this I know how you'll be allowed to come. You had a good morning.
Sorry,
yes.
But you're allowed to change your lawyer.
You are allowed to change. And I'm saying that, and I'm saying that the choice of Godfred Dami by the suspended CJ
this case is big.
Speaks a lot.
And she thinks that
speaks a lot about her affiliation. And that is confirmed by the logic espoused by the same Godfred Dami.
Okay.
So can I
number three.
When he lands.
Number three. Moro. As a Chief Justice, it means you have risen through the ranks, practiced for so many years, and you have the law at your fingertips. And the Chief Justice is aware, the suspended Chief Justice is aware that per the provisions of Article 146, it is the President, when upon the receipt of a petition, the president refers the petition to the Council of State.
Yes.
Because the decision as to how the committee be formed must be done in consultation with the Council of State.
Yes.
Bamoro, follow the woman's argument right from beginning. She said, why was she not served with the petitions when the president received it?
Yes.
And I said, oh, there's a simple answer. The law is the law. This is the law. Show me where in Article 146, as part of the procedures spelled out on the removal of a Chief Justice, it is stated that when the president receives a petition, he should serve you first. So at the end of the day, Moro, it appears as though we've had people who manage the judiciary using their discretion and kept touting that the law is the law. And when the law is being applied, they are suffering from, there's something about truth when you have assumed a certain position. And you see, I don't like to personalize matters of this nature. But Moro, the last time I was on your show, right after the show, I got a call from a judge. And when the judge explained to me what many of them, regardless of your political affiliation, many of them had gone through under her leadership, and said that if she dared even for a vote among the justices to determine whether or not she should stay, that is when Ghanaians will see that she was such a terrible Chief Justice. That's what I mean.
So hold on, you mean she's that unpopular? She's that unpopular amongst her friends, her colleagues?
Very unpopular. That's what you're saying. Very, very unpopular. Really? Because and with the things that are happening, you can see clearly that she's very unpopular. Why? Who goes to organize a press conference to bring light to matters that are supposed to be heard in camera?
She said a lot of lies are being peddled.
Which
she needs to come.
So that is why you defend yourself.
And tell Ghanaians.
That is why you defend yourself today, Moro. If you have a case before the court and you decide to hold a press conference to throw light on the matters before the court, you can be charged for contempt.
Yes.
Is that not it?
Yes.
So why are we allowing the person who should embody?
I think I've heard the likes of Martin Kpebu who are saying that she's cited for contempt.
Exactly. So why should we even allow a person who should be an embodiment of our laws to brazenly disregard the laws and try to whip a partisan sympathy to her side? My message to her and to our friends in the MPP is that President Mahama is firm in his belief that he has never acted contrary to any of the provisions in the Constitution.
Okay.
And we will not allow. She can organize bigger press conferences. She can organize a vigil. She can organize an all-night and bring everybody together to listen to her case. The law is the law, and the law will be applied. Nobody will be cowed by her cheap attempt at courting public sympathy. She told us that the law is the law, and the law will be applied. Okay. If you think that you are innocent of all the charges and the issues being raised in the petitions, defend yourself before the committee. Lastly, Moro, there is this attempt by the suspended Chief Justice to make the claim that one of the petitioners has refused to testify. And that appeared strange to her. Oh, Moro, there's something about time that they say time is the only true revealer of people's character. You remember when...
There's another popular one. They said time is not the best. Time is not the best friend of man.
It's not a friend of...
It's a friend of mine.
Yeah, it's not the best friend, or it's the best... Anyhow it is.
Yes,
time. And I thank God that some of us, as young as we are alive to see this day. Okay. And we always pray for long life. Moro, remember when Charlotte Osei was being
removed?
You remember? And remember when the NDC petitioned the court after the 2020 elections?
Yeah.
What did they tell us about J. Mensah? What did they tell us? They said Jemensa could not testify, that it is not mandatory.
Yes.
As long as she could provide the answers,
yes,
even in a written form, the law could shield her from testifying. Is that not it?
Yes.
The Venerable Chachu Chikata demanded that bring the woman to come and testify. They said no. All of a sudden, not coming to testify is a worry to her.
Yeah.
Please, let's respect the good people of Ghana. And I want to say on authority that nobody in the NDC will pay attention to the destructive politics being played by the CJ.
Okay.
The committee will continue to do its work. The committee will use the law. The committee will rely, and whatever the outcome may be, as the good people of Ghana will accept the committee's report because that is what we're supposed to do.
Okay.
As for press conferences and trying to court public sympathy and all of that, she can continue even after the process. But nobody will fall for those cheap tricks to hoodwink Ghanaians into believing that any illegality is being conducted.
Okay.
As long as he has failed to show us which provision in the law has been breached, everything else he's doing can be best classified as noise.
All right.
And we will not be moved by any noise.
All right, Michael.
Yeah. So Adam, there's something very key in all of this discussion. Okay. One, I think the relationship between Chachu Chikata.
Look, I'm going to beg you to do me a favor, a big one. We need to stretch our arms and our legs a bit. We've been talking for a while.
Really?
You're still watching Good Morning Ghana. Please stay with us.
Car Center in Ghana, offering unparalleled round-the-clock service in autos and accessories. Nadam Autofix is the biggest distributors of used tires in Ghana, offering first-grade second-hand car tires of all rim sizes at both wholesale and retail prices. We are also the leading name in car sensor diagnostics, corrections and sales of car accessories. We excel in car washing and detailing with state-of-the-art steam engine washing machines that keep water away from your engine, ensuring a clean, healthy and responsive engine. Nadam Autofix, the first name in servicing, car accessories and car washing. Visit us today and experience the world of class difference. Find us today at Asoridaho, directly opposite Dansoman KFC and the Shell filling station. For more details, you can call us on 0503 244 266 or 0535 339823. Nado Motofix, Wukwainso Nyonko Papa.
Wabedum time aso. Hey, J. Watch it, na learning. Missy, watch and learn. Mekwaya mabesisia. Abozege. Akache say no ya konate and the more drink woman. Hey. But I tell me. Oh, sorry. She knew her old days. Eji. Dabio, baby wom. Ready. Hey, baby wom. Ah, Achei! I'll cause some discomfort.
Uncle!
Sorry, well, uncle, where would the dad? Why your funeral? At to phone for Arrowfield Trading. Sorry, it killed them all.
Na mom hwe na ndadanya waso mosquito coil esudu wo mu no mu. Na say spray wo dan mu so a, twan sima adronum ansa na akodan no mu.
Enkratoi FDA agiatum. I'm here at Mycom JA Limited to show you the Promethean Active Panel, the ultimate tool for corporate institutions, hospitals, schools, and your home. With its crystal clear 4K display and an unbreakable screen with an ultra responsive touch technology. This isn't just a screen, it's a game changer. For corporate institutions and in schools, this active panel can be used for Zoom meetings and PowerPoint presentation. And oh, your homes are not left behind. You can use it to watch all your favorite programs by just connecting to a Fire Stick, and you can get access to channels like Netflix and Amazon, and voila, you are in there. At Mycom JA Limited, we provide you with the best quality products from the United States of America with 1-year warranty. You can get an
MGL Logistics and Supply is your trusted partner, providing seamless solutions for all your procurement needs. From sourcing products to managing imports and exports, we ensure smooth and efficient transactions every step of the way. Whether you require goods from across the globe or need assistance in exporting your products to international markets, we got you covered. General trading is at the heart of our expertise. We specialize in a wide range of products, catering to various industries and markets. As a trusted dealership in building materials, we provide high-quality products that meet the demands of our construction projects. Additionally, we act as manufacturers' representatives, connecting producers with distributors. Our expertise in logistics is the backbone of our operations. We plan and execute transportation and delivery of goods, ensuring they reach their destination on time and in optimal condition. MGO Logistics and Supply, guaranteed satisfaction.
Where to get Polytank?
Oh, and you're up fine.
Go straight.
No, I want to left, right.
That's right. Ghana na yewono. So when you do more, any data. Oh no! Abe, na here. Me pe Polytank ato. Enu tin ta menu aba otu ko bia be na ba hejo. Ofu to bia e de entwa ye kura.
Akuya bulambo kotoman. Emu ha.
Like they take to buy so. Go to the distributor and we give the original Polytank. You get a sound?
Polytank. Papananka Sankasa.
Mommy. Michelle say, fe.
Different era, better result. Time has changed and time has brought Kel Chocolate Toothpaste. Healthy gums, anti-cavity, fresher breath, and it whitens teeth. Kel Chocolate Toothpaste. Sankofa.
Yenchi. Kel Chocolate Toothpaste.
Happy smile.
This advert is FDA approved.
Ebusiafo ye mama kwa aba eba Children's Palace. Nkwala nyema nyina fie enyi. Yonkwala ntade mani mema nyina ntare nyina wase. Yonkwala shoes, yonkwala duane, yonkwala wipes, yonkwala diapers, yonkwala toys, baby coat. In fact, bibia opama omanyina obenye biwa ase.
Located at East Legon Hills, Nana Chrome KFC. Contact us on 059 6377 172. Children's Palace. Happy children, happy fashion. See you soon. Bye bye.
Tucked between the vibrant energy of Accra and the scenic charm of the Kwabena Hills, our gated community offers the perfect blend of tranquility and accessibility. Welcome to Rehoboth Knightsbridge, where nature meets opportunity. Secure your future with fully serviced plots with well-tarred roads, reliable drainage systems, electricity and water. Build your dream home in a community that cares for your well-being and safety. Indulge in premium amenities that redefine luxury living. A swimming pool, tennis court, basketball court, sauna and steam in the iconic shopping mall, all within reach. It's more than just a space. It's your sanctuary in the city. Wake up to mountain views, take a jog under palm-lined paths, and experience the perfect balance of city access and natural beauty. Starting at just 450,000 cedis with flexible payment plans. Visit www.rehobothpropertiesgh.com or call or WhatsApp 024-476-4499 or 020-495-0810. Rehoboth Properties, quality housing for all.
When I want to explain it, my head will be headache me. Yeah. When
oh, Annie will kill me.
Yeah.
Adam, is the kind of friend?
In fact, he was my boss.
Okay.
He was my boss. You know, he was my boss at Maslock.
Oh, okay.
So I was the head of monitoring and evaluation at Maslock before Sticker was appointed.
Okay.
And when he was appointed, as usual, you know, he's a politician, so he came in, a couple of new MPP appointees were appointed to the office.
Okay.
But trust me, he has very good work ethics.
Oh, really?
He saw my reports, and one day I sent a letter that said I wanted to resign because I was not too comfortable with the environment. You know, too many NPP folks, and they knew that I was NDC. No, not really that, but I just wanted to leave the space so that I could pursue some other interests.
Yes.
He saw my resignation letter the first time. He rejected it.
Okay.
Called me into his office and said, "Young man, you are NDC. I've seen your reports, the reports from your department, and I'm impressed by what you have done for Maslock. I want you to stay and let's work together. I told him I'll think about it. That when I came back, he said, no, I don't want you to resign. And when he came, despite his political affiliations and I disagree with him on many other things, but Sticker's work ethics, at least for what I saw within the short period of working with him, is admirable. And so even in Parliament, I still call him my boss.
Okay.
And he refused to accept my resignation. So I literally left Maslock without
resigning?
Yes.
Officially resigning?
I resigned, he didn't accept it. I left. And so we have that very good relationship. He's a very lovely person. And you see the kind of things that you see.
Was he always dancing when he was at Maslock?
No. Like I said, very professional.
Very professional.
And he's that one of those scratchy when it comes. He will give a little pressure here and there. The reports must be ready. Why is this thing not right and all that? But he's a very fantastic.
You know, he's an actuarial scientist.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He is.
His doctorate
He's very
is in
sharp.
that.
Yeah.
He's the only one in the country, actually.
Very.
Yeah.
The only actuarial scientist in
yeah.
Ghana.
I mean, no, at that level.
Oh, at that level.
Doctoral level.
He's a very good friend.
Very sharp guy, eh?
But his politics, sometimes I disagree.
He likes Indian movies a lot.
He's a reactionary man. He's a reactionary man.
He wishes that we set up Bollywood.
Yeah.
In Ashanti region.
In Kumasi.
But
Frank is doing something. I think that it wasn't really a bad idea. It's just a concept. So he tried to import a foreign concept into the movie industry in Ashanti region. But Frank Amwakuhini, the regional minister, he is working with the local content and he wants to promote the local movie industry. And I think that he must be commended for that, because you see, there are many things that makes a region unique. And when you identify that strength, Ashanti region rich in their culture, heritage, and all of that.
Yeah.
And the movie was used to project
that.
All of a sudden, the Kumewood movie industry went on the decline and all of that. And I'm happy that we have a leadership that is very intentional about some of these things. And so I commend Frank Amwakuhini for what he's doing for the movie industry in the Ashanti region.
All right. But I like Sticker. He's a fantastic chap. You know,
anyway,
it's just the way he dances.
I guess he's a very good friend of your producer, Annie.
Oh, really? He's Annie's good friend there. This is the second time Annie has played this video.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I guess. So maybe Annie must come on air and defend herself.
Yeah, she's just loving his boogie, man. You know, the boogie. Anyway, so you have some responses to what Adam has said.
So case
that's
in
the
point.
chap. That's Dr. Frank Amwakuhini, isn't it?
Yes.
I think he's doing well. He's doing well.
Extremely well. And the Volta regional minister, the two of them so far have been exceptional.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Honorable James Gunu, exceptional leader, exceptional. Trust me.
Right.
Okay.
So case in point.
Right.
Let's bear in mind that the Attorney General, former Attorney General, shall I even say when he was Attorney General, he was literally the lawyer for the president.
Right.
Okay. And by virtue of that, let me add that he's literally responsible for the inactions and actions of the former president when it comes to administrative matters. Please, are you following me?
Yes, I am.
And for that reason, by default, he's a lawyer for all of Nanado's government appointees.
He's a lawyer for the state, actually.
Well,
at the time.
What I'm saying is at the time, he was a lawyer for all of Nanado's appointees. I mean,
including the Chief Justice?
No, I mean, the Chief Justice was appointed.
I get your drift.
The Chief Justice was appointed by Nanado Dankwa Akufo-Addo at the time. Okay. Following that logic, it almost behoves him by default to be responsible for any additional issues beyond the president's tenure. It's just not rocket science. It becomes by default. I mean, if there are any questions with regards to decisions taken by the president, in the past administration, based on his position then as the Attorney General, the lawyer for the president, I think it's not far-fetched for him to be defending, quote unquote, or attending to appointments or appointees that the former president handled. So I'm just bringing this to the fore by virtue of his questioning. Now, as for Chachuchi Kata, but let me finish here if you can allow me. As for Chachuchi Kata, we know also his political colorations. Right. I have no problem about it. My only problem is that if we cite the two lawyers, even I believe there's Thaddeus Lawrence, who's now quote unquote lawyer for Speaker of Parliament and even lawyer for the current president's relative. Brother. Let me, So my point here is that if we're not really careful, the politicking, based on the actors involved, might even overshadow the true case at hand. And we have now, as it is, upped the volume of the politics of this case. Now, there's another argument which I need to posit. All criminal cases in this country are not necessarily televised, but some are superstar cases. Okay? Let me cite O.J. Simpson. I mean, there are many murdering cases in the U.S., but because O.J. Simpson was a superstar, a serious footballer, the public interest was so huge that it merited showing the arguments and proceedings to the general public. So there's always a case in point, depending on the category and the happenings and the public interest in the matter. I mean, there's been many issues that we felt strongly that the public should know. I mean, didn't the speaker allow for LGBTQ things to be done in public? So there's no hard fast rule that, and let's look at this whole thing as a normal legal proceeding. The right of an individual to have the case against him or her cannot be taken out because she's the Supreme Court Justice or Chief Justice.
You mean the right of choice of a counsel?
Not counsel, but to have access to things she's been petitioned against.
Oh, okay.
You understand?
I mean the petition itself, the content of the petition.
I mean, he was saying that there's nowhere in the, Constitution that says that the president ought to. No, some things are literally known in law that those things will not be spelled out in the Constitution.
Except that. Yeah. I get the point, but except that. But the document she said she expects the Justice Fuaman Committee to ferry her with, right? Right? With the same document she responded to.
Administratively, it is not. Let me tell you why.
Why?
There's a weight involving the committee sending her notice that yes, they received the responses to the petitions they have.
Yes.
And it is adequate,
right,
or it is not adequate. Now, here's one key thing. I'm an economics person, and I do logic. Right. Okay. Now, the committee has some petitions. They've received her responses through another door.
Yes.
Okay. Now,
from the president.
Administratively,
yes.
If there were 4 petitions she responded to, and the committee has 6 petitions,
how will she know?
How will she know? And that is what she's asking. That listen. There's nothing
then she has a point.
There's nothing that stops you as a committee in just receiving my documents so that
and cross-checking.
Even the surety that what I gave to the presidency is everything that you have in totality. Administratively,
and then you get a logic?
Wrong with that.
You get a logic?
There's nothing wrong with that.
Which is that I have some documents, let me see if you have the same documents.
That's
then we proceed.
And administratively,
I have the petition with me.
It is even right.
I'm the suspended Chief Justice. I have the petition with me. Can I see if it's the same petition we're dealing with?
But
I have 4. I'm told there are 4 petitioners. Do you also have 4 petitioners?
And do you have my 4 responses?
Right.
That is all she's asking for.
Okay.
And she has every right. And it is even in the interest of the committee if they are doing a judicious job to even request that the defense and the state provide them both responses. I mean, if you go to court today and you have a case, you submit to the prosecutor and you submit to the court.
Yeah.
That is how it, and this one, it will not be spelled out in the Constitution because it is natural justice, as she rightly says. So I'm pleading with all of us. You know, let's not put on political lenses.
So, but,
okay,
but
let's look at it. And the right thing, and listen, my arguments are not against the president. You know, the president may have done the right thing, but downstream, everything has to be right.
Okay.
Downstream. If the president empowers the committee to do something and they are not doing it well, it presupposes that the buck stops where? At the presidency. But I'm not here to argue, you know, against President Mahama. My point is that the people he has entrusted to do the committee work, they need to be fair in their dealings. If not, when they break the tenets of very ordinary legal proceedings, it diminishes the weight or it diminishes the perception we have in public domain that, you know, it's like you've tied the persons and you are telling them to give you evidence. I mean, you've tied me, the thing is in my pocket, and you say I should still release it. I mean, that's unfair. So administratively, I think that, listen, what's wrong with the committee appending to whatever that, oh, these are the exhibits of the things we've received from the presidency, your 4 responses. Is it in its entirety what it is? Yes, no, that's all. Verification. But if you can't verify this, then how do we proceed?
I think that I think that I get your logic, but that may not necessarily be factual because in her press statement, page 10, under the subheading, the 3 petitions, she herself, alluded to the fact that the 3 petitions being used in
that she knows of,
that they have been made public, and so those are the ones that have been made public. No, and they were given to her.
She wants to be sure.
And she said she has provided.
No,
but so I don't. You know why I don't even see why this should even be a case.
It is a case
because when you come before the committee, Moro, if you come before a committee of inquiry, and you are served with a petition that these are your charges, and they are asking you, and they are asking you any.
She has not been served.
But yet she has said here, and she's even addressing. No, listen. She is even addressing.
She wants to read something.
All the petitions. And she stated here that the petitions which are being used to inquire into why I should be removed from office have been in the public domain for some months now. They are actually available on the internet.
No, we're not dismissing that. So, what she's saying that all those things that she's aware of.
Yes.
I want to know if you have the same thing. That's all.
That's all.
But if it's not the same thing that the committee has, how are they doing that? Because you see, when you appear before a committee, when you go before a court, or let's say you go before a committee or a commission of inquiry, and you are being asked any question,
you don't want to be ambushed.
That is not no. That is why you have lawyers. That is why you have a lawyer. So you see, when you go to a committee, I'm telling you that if you appear before the committee and the committee is inviting you to discuss a matter that you
there
think
should be an item list of the things,
a matter that is foreign to the petitions that you are aware of. That is why you have your lawyers to stand on that to say that
no. If you have your lawyers, how would your lawyers answer when they haven't interviewed you, the client, about the issue?
But how do you want to see my evidence?
In law, no.
The petition she was given the petitions for which she responded. You see, let's not go into that. So doc, in law, you see, doc, it's important. You
cannot charge me and not tell me my charges.
But she knows her charges. And she responded to them. For example, even the issue, the charges are in the petitions. And what did she respond to? If she doesn't know her charges, what did she respond to?
The establishment of.
She responded and even sought to provide clarity as to why she traveled with her family, who are not Okay.
Yeah, but Adam,
Remember, what are the charges?
All those
she
things that were given
responded
to her,
every single petition and
yes.
all the issues that were raised against her. So why is this to say that she wants to cross-check what?
With from the committee.
She needs to understand. I think that the problem she may be. I think that no, just before you come in, I think that one of the problems that the Chief Justice, the suspended Chief Justice, is suffering from is the fact that she is refusing to accept that she's no more the one in charge calling the shots. You cannot dictate to the committee how they conduct their business. You cannot. You cannot. So today she's appearing before the committee as the person for which petitions have been written against. So the days where she was the one in charge calling the shots, transferring judges, deciding which cases should be heard or not. Look,
but you get a point.
We saw how. Let me conclude.
No, I need clarification.
We saw how Gertrude Torkornoo made the judiciary look extremely petty and partisan. There were cases. I recall the E-Levy case, for example.
No, we get all of that.
No, there were cases. She became like a goddess.
Adam, can I ask you a question?
Who at her own pleasure decides which cases she needed to empanel people or not. There were many cases that demanded urgent response from the Chief Justice at the time. She refused to. She was acting in a partisan light.
Right.
Today she must remember that she is a suspended Chief Justice. She is appearing before the committee. She should humble herself and go through the process. Nobody will be intimidated. Which process is flawed? So the Constitution clearly provides how the process will be conducted. It is stated. Don't let Justice.
My question.
She should humble herself.
So let's hear his question.
Ask your question.
Supposing I have a case at the High Court.
Yes.
And it's going to the Supreme Court.
Yes.
Will the Supreme Court not want to know all my documents? That's all it is.
As what? Want to know your documents?
Listen,
which documents?
You're changing courts. You're dealing with the executive. Now the president has formed a committee.
Yes.
And you are saying that committee, between the presidency and you, some things may have changed. I am willing.
What may have changed? It is the president that refers the petitions. I don't know why we are. This is not an issue, though. No, not at all.
So I'm willing to see if anything has changed, yes or no, and then I'm ready to give you everything.
But why would she
I gave to the
president?
Why is she
assuming that something?
Oh, no. Listen, this is administrative. Okay, this is administrative.
So then he poses the next question, which is, why didn't the lawyers on the first day when they appeared before? Remember, on the first day when they appeared before the committee, she couldn't make it. So there was the lawyers were there.
The lawyers were denied even the ability to talk, which she states carefully.
Yeah, she did that.
Yeah, so please, I mean, listen.
But subsequently, but hold on, subsequently.
I don't know the woman. No.
That's fine. Subsequently, I get that. It's not personal.
It's about her position.
Could her lawyers...
And the ordinary person...
I get it, but could her lawyers subsequently have objected to the proceedings going on until and unless they are able to see whether indeed what they have is the same thing that the committee has?
It is fair justice or natural justice. Okay. Like I said,
yes.
You have a case against me.
Yes.
I've heard some things in the public domain. As a committee, just let me have the things that are against me.
Okay.
Maybe the presidency brought 3. For all you know, you have 6.
Our time is up.
Just let me have it.
Unfortunately.
And let me respond to you.
Yes. Okay, so the two of you will not agree on this matter. So
no, but Moro, in
the public
conclusion,
will agree with
Moro,
me.
Yeah.
In conclusion, I want to offer a general advice to people who are managing our state institutions, especially the judiciary and even parts of the executive.
All right,
Moro, when you are given a mandate, you must act in ways that even posterity will be very kind to you. We saw how Gertrude Torkornoo,
afford her the fact that she's a judge.
She's a suspended
of many
justice, yes,
of many
years, 21 years, and I respect her for that.
I think afford her.
Look, when she was the Chief Justice, we saw how
she's suspended. Not
she's a suspended chief. She's no more the Chief Justice in acting. Suspended means that she's no more the Chief Justice. Look, there's an acting Chief Justice, and that must be respected, whether she likes it or not. Moro, we saw how the courts became a place for exercising what I would call double rules and double standard.
That's your perception.
Under her watch,
okay,
a court told us that Sal,
okay,
no, she was not. She was not Chief Justice there.
No,
she was not.
She sat on that panel.
But
she
she
sat on it.
she was not Chief Justice.
Under her watch.
I get it.
Please.
Techiman South. They said
she came after Techiman South.
No, so I'm telling you that for Techiman South, the court said the people could not stay without an MP, so the MP should be in Parliament while the case continues.
Okay, all right.
But
she was not Chief Justice then too.
All right.
No, but it's under her watch that.
So Hadi from Pickfarm. So Hadi from Pickfarm says, "Good morning, brother. The suspended Chief Justice is trying to obtain public sympathy.
The public sympathy will not work.
Her stature as a lawyer, and she says one is using veiled threat on her is even problematic.
She report to the nearest police station.
Same, if she's ever asked to provide evidence, it's almost like telling the court that the issue before the court is spiritual. Courts do not deal with assumptions, rather hardcore evidence. The Chief Justice is just trying to be smart. At the rate at which she's dealing with the matter, any such threat would have been reported in the media by her cohort. No amount of propaganda by the suspended Chief Justice will bring down President John Dramani Mahama." Now, McLean from Station also says that there's a clear indication of a deliberate plan to remove the current Chief Justice right from the start. The animosity of President John Dramani Mahama and the NDC towards the Chief Justice is concerning and indicates a biased agenda. The attempts by the NDC to tarnish the reputation of our judicial system is disturbing and should be condemned by the good people of Ghana. We have to preserve the credibility of our justice system to uphold law and order in our society, and any threats must be denounced firmly. And also, Al-Hassan Suini sends a message, I think it's in response to one of the issues we raised about the holidays. He says, the president is empowered to shift holidays doesn't mean he will always shift it, even if it's inconvenient to holiday makers. It's in response to one of the things, that's one of the issues that we raised during our conversation. Well, I guess that Musa Batwa in Asawasi says, ironically, I don't expect any MPP member to agree with the petitioner and disagree with the suspended Chief Justice because it doesn't serve their interests. However, Akufo-Addo should be blamed for the current Chief Justice's issue because he broke the long-standing tradition of respecting appointment by previous government. While past presidents worked with officials appointed by their predecessors, Akufo-Addo used questionable tactics to remove Electoral Commission and Auditor General appointed by Mahama, setting a bad precedent that is now being repeated. Anyway, so I want to thank you, gentlemen, for joining us on the show today. It's been wonderful having you. That's Edem Eric Agbana, who is the MP for Ketu North.
For 30 seconds to apologize to your producer.
Yes.
I'll be banned from coming.
Yes, no, she apology accepted. Let me speak on her behalf.
On her behalf?
And also, yes. And also,
but if she likes the car, what's wrong with that?
Yes.
The women likes the car.
No, I mean, my apology for coming.
And also, Adumaku Dixon is a former MP.
And he doesn't joke with her time at all.
I know, for Anyasu.
I don't want to be blacklisted.
I want to say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Thanks for watching Good Morning Ghana. Bye-bye.
Back in the day, tune in radio from morning, and you don't want to miss out because anybody who